All right, hello to everybody who is listening to me and watching this recording. My name is Zachary Ewan, and this is in regards to specifically what we call RightSignature. Some of you might also refer to this as e-signature. My screen currently does show RightSignature.com. Again, this is for people who just have RightSignature. This is in no way related to anyone else that might have ShareFile or Podio or any other of our Citrix products. What we're going to do today for probably about the next 32 minutes is we're going to cover your settings, how to brand your customer emails, and then how to actually send a document out for signature. So at the top right-hand side, there is going to be a sign-in link here. I will be saying from time to time for those of you that have ShareFile as opposed to for those of you who do not have ShareFile. So for those of you who have ShareFile, you are going to type in the same email address that you use for your ShareFile account. For those of you who do not, whatever email address you use to sign up for RightSignature should be typed in this particular field. I'm purposely showing this next screen coming up. It shows original and new. Whether you realize it or not, some of you, this is specifically for anyone who's a customer that's listening to me, you might have maybe done RightSignature with a different company you worked for, or maybe you sign up for a trial, or your company signed up for a trial. So we do have original or new. For the most part, the majority of you will never see this screen. You might just go straight to new RightSignature, but that is what you would select. This was more so our older program that's still used for certain integrations, such as HawkSoft. So if you do have, for example, HawkSoft and you're using that with RightSignature, you should probably stop listening to this because this is not going to be about original. This is going to be specifically just about the new RightSignature. So let me go ahead and click on Sign In. And then you're going to get this screen that is going to prompt you. Now, of course, it didn't do this for me. I'm going to purposely log out. I was probably logged in from a previous training I just did for a customer about a half hour ago. But when I go ahead and actually sign back in, it is going to prompt me to type in my password for my account. This is the screen I was hoping for. If you did get the welcome email from your sales rep and you don't remember your password or you delete the email by accident, I would honestly just go ahead and click on Forgot Password here and then just follow the instructions. But we're going to go ahead and log into my account for this particular example. And we're going to get the screen that you saw for a couple of brief seconds just recently. The first time you ever use this, you are going to get a hello screen. It'll probably have you try and do the tutorial, but what our system will do is try and prompt you on what everything means. So it'll probably let you know what everything on the left-hand side means and what these little portions at the top right-hand side mean. Now, the Documents tab, which is your Home tab, is going to include any document that was ever sent for signature, regardless of whether or not it is pending or completed or expired. And the search field, you can just go ahead and type in the person's name you send it to. You can type in the email address that you send it to. It could be the file name, which is why you see nothing but Jackie Robinson Foundations. Or it could even be what's referred to as a tag, and I'm going to get into that in about, 15 minutes or so. But we're going to talk about that later. On the right-hand side, you're going to see different color code graphs. So anything with the white check mark and the green circle means it's completed. Anything with an orange circle means that it's still pending, and anything that has a clock just means that it did expire. And if you notice, your documents will be listed in chronological order from newest to oldest. That's why we have things from yesterday as opposed to things from Tuesday. Just for the record, today is Thursday in case you're listening to this. So that's why I'm referring to different days. Now, on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on the Account tab or the Sunshine Sprocket. And then there's Settings. We have done a couple different updates over the past few months, which is why I'm doing this recording right now. You are going to see a picture of myself there next to Change Avatar. If you wanted to upload a picture of your company logo, that's fine. If you do not even want to play around with the avatar, you can leave that blank. The major intention behind the avatar is that it is allowing you to put your company logo and that you can actually put that into a customer's email. Your avatar will normally appear at the bottom of the email, where it also includes like your email signature. So I'm going to scroll down because one of the new settings that we just added legitimately about a week and a half ago, or I'm sorry, it's only been a week, is require passcode for documents under your account settings. We do recommend that that should be most likely turned on if you're finicky about forcing the client to type in some form of like verification about themselves. Our normal default setting, if that is turned off, that just means that all the client would have to do is click on the link in their email, and then they can just go ahead and sign the document. Up top, because I don't want to skip anything just in case, since this is going to be a recording, verified emails, that will most likely be blank. You might have to add your own email address to that. You would click on add verified email, type in your email address, and just follow those instructions. The idea behind this is that when you send a document out for signature, and if you have to sign it after the customer does, by verifying your email address, you could just go right into RightSignature's portal and sign it without waiting for an email. That's the major intention behind this. I am going to turn the passcode on for this particular example, just for the purposes of this recording. And I'm going to go over a couple settings here real quick. 3 notifications. When a document's been viewed, signed, and completed, you are going to, by default, see that signed and completed is turned on, and that viewed should be turned off. If you want to turn that on, that's fine. Just click on it to make it a blue color. What will happen here is you're going to get a notification anytime someone actually opens your email, and then you're going to get a notification when your individual customer signs the document. If you feel like you're getting 2 emails per person is too annoying, you could always just turn this back off. So you still get the 1 email when they sign your document. So send reminder emails. That is also turned on by default. We only do send 2 automatic reminders. So that's if a document expires after 3 days or after 7 days. You're also going to notice directly above that, there's a couple different options here as well. Ideally, the one thing that's nice about this system is that we will allow any number of days between 1 and 365. But these different options are the most commonly used like defaults that we have. That's all. All right, the last major section is blue ink signatures, and then the signature types allowed. Blue ink signature is the second sentence is really the most important part. This is to help distinguish a signed original from a photocopy. That just means that from the client's point of view, when they try and either draw their signature or type out their signature, it is going to show as blue ink. We were also told just in general, when a customer prints out a paper copy, the blue ink appears to be darker than the black ink, which is traditional. The other thing about blue ink signatures is that this is only available as a setting for the admin. So for those of you who are not admins on the account, you will not even see this on your settings tab. Drawn and typed, that just means that the client can draw with their mouse. They can draw with their finger on their iPhone or iPad or Android phone or Android tablet. If the drawn signature is too ugly or illegible, they could just go ahead and type out their name. We do have that converted into cursive automatically. So, all right, so let me get into integrations real quick. For those of you that have ShareFile, this should be turned on by default. I also try and tell people go ahead and turn on archiving and contacts. For those of you that do not have ShareFile, we do have other sources or other integrations as well. And we also, obviously, if you have ShareFile, you can turn these on too. So for instance, you can import Gmail contacts, Salesforce contacts. You can connect your Dropbox documents to this particular account. I actually have my Google Drive connected, and I also have my Microsoft OneDrive connected. So when you do click on something, it is going to prompt you. Now, I don't have a Dropbox account personally, so when I go ahead and click on Dropbox, it's just going to let me show that I can just sign in with my credentials, and then you just have to confirm that you want to connect everything. So let's go into branding. So you're going to see blue and silver, I guess we can call that, or blue and gray. Your default colors are going to be gray, white, and leaf. The screen is available for just the admin. The major purpose of this would be just if you wanted to customize things, this is what the customer screen will look like while they are signing your document. And if you notice, the picture of myself, which was the avatar from settings, is right down here. That will always appear at the bottom of the customer screen. I have mine set up so that it does include my own personal name and my fake company name. But you can change that to anything if you wanted to, in terms of how selective your options are going to be. Changing the color also should not be an issue. Again, only the admin can do this. And just click on Update. Second screen, this is probably the more important screen for each of you, is the email. Ideally, this is a preview mode of what the email will look like. It does show two boxes are already turned on, or they're colored blue. When you first activate or log into your account, this will all be turned gray. A lot of people do not like the fact that an email comes from our website, .com, so RightSignature.com. They might think it's garbage, or they might think it's spam. Even though your name pops up in the subject line, that's why we do have show sender name in the from field. If you turn that on or make that blue, it shows your name. If the second box is turned on or if it's turned blue, it shows your company name, or in my instance, it's my fake company name. So that should be fine. And it also shows, there's a blue button here on the right-hand side. It shows review document, but that's going to be changed to review and sign document. And you'll see the email from the customer's point of view in about 10 minutes or so. Also, for some reason, the customer is trying to click on that button and they cannot access the document. We have a link. You don't see it in my preview mode, but you'll see it in a live email. And the customer can click on the link as well. The last part here, you'll notice the picture of myself, the email signature. You can customize the signature at the end, or you can customize the greeting, which is closer towards the top under the hello portion, as you can see there. Now, it did pop up incorrectly in the signature field. It's supposed to be at the top right there. So that's just more my account being dumb, to put it nicely. So disregard that. And then there's also email signature. You know, I'm actually going to refresh my browser real quick. I just want to point out to you guys that this will not save. There we go. Email signature. A lot of people, for those of you that might have Microsoft Outlook, they like to copy and paste their email signature. So when I get my Microsoft Outlook and I move it over here, I'm going to try and copy and paste this customer success portion. Unfortunately, the logo, the Citrix logo, and the customer success at ShareFile.com do not carry over. It is just text and numbers. The words pop up, as you can see, but not the hyperlink. So just a heads up for those of you that might try and do this. Now, again, I'm not saving the email signature. I'm clicking on Update. And again, it's a annoyance that we have for now. We're going to hopefully fix this soon. But when I refresh my browser one more time, all that information will not appear. Just like that. All right, so let me go ahead, and before I click on Start Document, I want to go back to Documents tab, and I just want to talk about the filter button that you guys might have questions about. It allows you to see documents just based on their existing status. And we do have the admin view. I'll put my mouse over the question mark. View all documents sent from this account. So the one thing that's nice about that, for those of you who are admins, if you can click on the admin view box, and in the search field, if you actually type in your colleague's name, instead of seeing documents that are sent by yourself, it would actually show documents that were sent by your coworker's name. That way, you don't have to worry about logging out of your account and then logging back in with your coworker's credentials. That won't be an issue anymore. So, all right, so now we're going to go ahead and click on Start Document. You get these screens. I'll go backwards to forwards. So on the right-hand side, sign in person. That is a situation where sometimes you might be face-to-face with your customer, and you might even have a customer that doesn't have an email address. You could just go ahead and have them sign on the spot. Create a reusable template. The idea behind that is you are going to create a specific template where maybe it's the same exact document and all your customers will sign and date on the exact same page and the exact same listings. So sign a document yourself. The second option just means that you're the only person signing and nobody else is. And then what we're going to do for the purposes of this recording is send for signature. You will notice a couple different options here, and we have these little 3 icons. These are just the icons that represent what files you can upload and send for signature. Microsoft Word, if it is going to be a Microsoft Word document, it does have to be Office version 2007 or newer. PDF, and we actually still allow .txt documents, which are text documents. For those of you who are not familiar with that, it's a very old technology, or should I say older. And again, if that's a document, it had to have been built on a Microsoft program that was 2007 or newer. So if you're worried about sending a Microsoft Word document for signature, I wouldn't be too concerned about that, honestly, guys and girls. It will convert itself into a PDF so that the customer has no chance of editing that document. Now you will see here I can build a template. I have other sources. If I click on other sources, that is why ShareFile is listed, Podio is listed, Google Drive and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and choose from my computer, and I'm going to be real simple. I'm going to do a PDF. I like to use the same one because these are actually one of our customers that allow us to use this document for training purposes, the Jackie Robinson Foundation. Now, if you want to send more than one file off at the same time, that's fine. You can click on Add Another File. You can mix and match PDFs, TXTs, and Word documents, just like that. I'm going to keep this real simple. One of the questions you might have would be, if I send more than one document off at the same time, what does that look like from the customer side of things? The customer will get separate emails for each individual file. The main reason why is the blue button that the client has to click on to open the document. The button is only, I guess the best way to describe it is our button is only smart enough to connect itself to one file at a time. So I'll click on Prepare Document, and I get this screen. We do not limit how many people can be on the document to sign. I'm going to do a real simple example now. I'm a big sports person. I am going to use somebody on my fantasy football team, Mr. Rogers. His name popped up automatically as well as his email address, as you saw. For the most part, though, since it's probably your first time doing this, you have to type in somebody else's name entirely. So let's go with a personal family member's name, my brother Jared. He's actually already in the system, as you can see right there. But if he was not listed there, then they would show nothing at all. You would have to type the whole thing out. There's no limit, again, to how many people can sign. You could ideally just keep on clicking on Add Another Signer, type it in names and email addresses, and that's perfectly fine. There is also a thing here called Set Signer Order. I am going to do 2 people for my example. I'm going to actually include myself. Add yourself. If I check mark Set Signer Order, that just means that now there's a sequence where Aaron has to sign first before I sign. I can flip-flop myself if I wanted to, put myself on top of Aaron so that I go first. But the sequence order will be top to bottom format. And there you go. If there's a situation where the customer wants to have you send the document off to the same email address, let me actually X myself out real quick. Let me actually refresh my browser because, again, my system is not liking me. So we're going to go with Aaron Rodgers one more time. Add another signer. So if I go ahead and add somebody else, let's just say Tom Brady, but they both insist it goes to the same Yahoo account, that's actually perfectly fine. There will be 2 separate emails that will go out to each person. And on top of that, each person will have their own different color of boxes to sign, date, or fill out. If you don't know the person's name, I'm going back to one signer, by the way. If you don't know the person's name, you can type in the department that they work at or the company they work at. As long as you know the email address, that's the important part. Otherwise, if you don't know the email address, you'd have to have the person sign in person, that option that I talked about 3 minutes ago. Click on Next, Place Fields. On the right-hand side, you are going to notice there's a bunch of portions. The first time you ever get to this screen, you are going to be prompted, little quick tutorial on what everything will look like. I'm going to keep this as a little bit more thorough. I'm not going to be basic here. So anything that's on the right-hand side as a question mark circle will tell you the directions or what the individual request or annotate does. In essence, what is the purpose of it? Signature field just means that all you have to do is, with your mouse, click into this portion. It creates this rectangle, and then with your mouse, you have to click on one of these circles and then move your mouse to make it larger. Like that, for example. If you did create an extra box accidentally, just like I did on purpose, you'd have to click into it and then click on delete to get rid of it. And then we have a date field right here. Again, date field, I just go ahead and click on it. And I can just stretch it out. Now, when the client clicks on the date field, it is going to show a calendar for July of 2017. And then when they click on today's date, it's going to be a blue color number. It will then turn into your standard date, month, year format, or month, day, year format, excuse me. So it will be 07- for today's date, 27-2017. We're going to do a text field for the person who typed out their name. And again, just click on the circles and move it with your mouse to make it larger and longer. And we do have a couple extra options here. Checkbox group, initials. Now the person also initial their name here. I'm going to skip the page 4 to cover checkboxes real quick. So I have a good checkbox question. Is the money going to go into a checking account or a savings account on this hypothetical direct deposit form? Checkbox group will create 2 boxes automatically. If you have a multiple choice question, that might be 5 boxes or 10 boxes. All you have to do is just click on one of the boxes and then keep on clicking on Add to Group until you're done. You're also going to notice under Only One, there is an option to choose between only one or more. If you go one or more, that just means that the customer can actually checkmark more than one of the boxes. Whereas if it's just only one, then that means they can only click on one of those 5 boxes. Now I only need 2 boxes. I need to get rid of these extra 3 ones. So all you have to do is just, again, click into them and click on delete. We'll go ahead and do 1 box here, another one right here. Those of you might want to try a different option. If you're not checkbox people, we also have select box. Select box also includes the ability to do like a multiple choice answer, but in a drop-down format. So I can do checking right here, and I can do savings right here if I wanted to. And the last thing before I click on next on the bottom right-hand side is the attachment portion. The idea behind this is, even though I have a customer filling out this document and signing everything, I need them to also give me an attachment. So in the enter help text directions, we're going to go ahead and do please provide a picture of, let's just say, the Grand Canyon. The idea is going to be when the client puts their mouse over this portion, my directions will tell them what to do, and then they can go ahead and upload a picture of the Grand Canyon for me. I don't think you guys are going to do annotate, but there's a situation here where if you have to actually sign before the customer does, you can do annotate and add your own signature to a document. You can also add extra text and add any check marks that you might know the answer to already for the customer. And again, if there's more than one person signing, the second person will have a different color. It's normally blue, and the first person is still green in the event that you have multiple signers. I'm going to click on next. So because I turned the passcode on automatically, there is my PIN number. Again, we just started this last Friday. This is relatively new. But the idea is supposed to be, I need to, it says here, don't forget you have to send this pen to the documents viewers and signers. So what you're supposed to do here is actually copy this, and then you can either paste it into the message so they already know what their PIN number is, or you're going to send this PIN number to the customer in a separate message. Not many people are a big fan of doing multiple emails, so you might not be doing this. You can always just ignore me for the next 2 minutes here. But we're going to go ahead and just do PIN number is 22833. We'll send it to my Yahoo real quick. If the PIN number is typed in incorrectly, by the way, they will not be able to look at the document to sign and fill out. And I do believe we have a 3-strike policy, so after 3 strikes, the client will be locked out for 24 hours. All right, so let me go ahead here and also just point out, add a personalized message. If you prefer not to copy and paste the PIN and do it in a separate email like I just did, you can actually leave the personalized message portion blank. There is no requirement for that. And we also will tell your customer how to fill out the document, so you don't have to worry about providing any extra instructions or anything like that. So, all right, so let me go ahead here and also explain the expiration. Again, this can be any number of days between tomorrow, which is 1, or something random like 333 days. Honestly, it's perfectly fine. All right, so let me go ahead and click on Send Document. On the right-hand side, we have a couple different options here. Again, these are more updates that we're going to cover because of we have to update our systems in regards to our training videos. So if I typed in the wrong person's email address, hypothetically, I can actually go ahead and click on Manage. I can change the email address to something else. Whatever email address you change that to, as soon as you click on Save, your process will be updated. I would click on Remind after you create the new email address to make sure that it does go out successfully. That Remind button also, too, is a manual reminder. I was mentioning the automatic reminders. You can only send 2 out if the document is 3 days old or 7 days old. So anything that's before 3 days old, we obviously do not have an automatic reminder, but you can do manual reminders if you had to. If the person forgot their PIN number, you can always generate a brand new one as well. And it does make the current one invalid, as you can see in my little text box right there. And actions, we do have void and edit. If you want to cancel the entire thing, that's fine. You can click on void and start over again. Edit just means that you want to change the expiration date. So I gave them until tomorrow. They need an extension. We're going to give them until Monday. That's fine. Just click on the new date and update. I could even do January 1st, 2018 if I wanted to. That's also fine. So. But okay, let's go ahead and keep that the way it is. We're going to X that out. And now let me show you when I go back to my screen on the left-hand side. If I click on this little less than sign, my newest document that we sent off for signature is right here. Jackie Robinson Foundation with specifically Aaron Rodgers. And then when I type in Aaron Rodgers, anything related to Aaron Rodgers popped up, such as a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 7 months ago. So that's pretty detailed on the right side. I talked to a lot of Packers fans, as you can see. All right, so let me show you the email from the customer's point of view. Remember, they're going to get 2 emails in my particular scenario. First one's the PIN number. And I'm going to go ahead on purpose real quick, create a sticky note, just so I can remember this without going back and forth on my emails. Oh, let me do this instead. All right, 22833. And now we're going to go into the other message, which is the document that they have to sign. Now it does show again, this would be your company name, then your name, and the name of the document. The client, again, they can click on the blue button, review and sign, or they can click on the link at the bottom if the button does not work. If both of these do not work, the customer can reach out to you, but I've only seen this never work just one time in the last 15 months, and it was a random cache and cookies issue with their browser. So, okay, so let me go ahead and click on the blue button version, and then from there, the client can go ahead and get directions on how to sign this document or fill this out. So here's the PIN number process. And I actually forgot it already, so we're going to do this right here. I'm going to click on unlock, and now I can actually see that document. And then here are the directions. Again, we tell the customer what to do, so this should not be an issue. There's a red flag that they have to follow. There's a bar at the bottom right that tells them how many fields they have left. Now this person, because it has 8 fields to do, this empty bar will turn into a submit button when there are no fields left. And under no circumstances, by default, every field will be a required field. So there's no way that they can submit to you an incomplete document unless you made something not required. If you only made a field optional, then that's a different story. So I'm going to click on the red flag, and we're going to do AR for the initials. Type in my name. I'm going to try and draw with the mouse, but you might get a good laugh out of how ugly this is going to be. That's probably an F- right there, right? So let me go ahead and clear that out and do a type signature. There's a cursive format. It does try to make itself a little bit bigger to spread out on your box, as you can see right there. The date field, today's date, is in blue. Click on that. Here's my please provide a picture of the Grand Canyon upload. Picture of the Grand Canyon. This bad boy right here. I have 3 fields left. As soon as I check mark one of these boxes, it's going to bring it down to 1 field left. Because again, this is a multiple choice question. As you can see, I can flip-flop my answer because my options were just only choose one of the 2 boxes. And the last thing is this drop down. So again, it shows, it's kind of hard to see here, but it shows checking or savings. And all I have to do now is click on submit twice as the client, and that's pretty much it. They will, by law, be able to download their own copy. Completed PDF is right here, which is what a preview mode of this is on the left-hand side. The file picture of the Grand Canyon is listed separately. And there's also a signature certificate. This is pretty thorough. You will get a copy of this as well. And it does show anything involving the document process, such as what time I sent this off as opposed to what time they signed it. Now, I'm in North Carolina, and our office in Raleigh, so everything's Eastern time. So if you're physically in a different time zone, it should match the time zone you're at, such as Pacific, Mountain, Central, Alaskan, Hawaii, European, etc. IP address will be listed right there. It depends on where you're at, and of course the operating system and the browser you're on. So Android should be via Android. Mac computer should be via Mac, but I believe with an iPhone or an iPad, it would show via iOS. And again, the entire process is broken by the exact second there. Now the question is, where is my copy? Let me minimize this. We're going to refresh my ShareFile browser. I'm sorry, RightSignature browser. I'll have a green check mark circle right there. I can now go ahead, I can download a picture of the Grand Canyon right here. And there's that right there. That's actually from a helicopter tour in Las Vegas, from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon. And my email notification should be right here, hopefully. And you'll notice my email is right there. And again, this is the same exact email the client will get. So if for some reason the client, I'm going to go back to Firefox, if the client deleted their screen like I did, we will automatically send them another email regardless that lets them know the document has been completed and that they can go ahead and view it again and try and download again. So other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. I do want to point out, if you have any issues or if there's anything that's not working, click on help here next to start document. We do have a phone number as well here, and you also submit like a ticket. And we even have what I just talked about for the last almost 35, 37 minutes. We have screenshots on how to do this as well. Same thing that I just sent in my recording. So, but outside of that, thanks again so much for listening to me, and I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day or night. Take care. Bye.